The Killers by Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway is a poet and storyteller who is known for having his stories very short and to the point. He doesn't find it necessary to have these, he calls them unnecessary details. He believes that details in the story that add more or don't make really sense to the story are just confusing the audience, basically. And for this story, just to give a little bit of a background, it's about two gangsters that are coming into a diner for a guy that they are looking for. And they do have guns on them, like most gangsters that you think about. Whenever you think about a gangster, I'm thinking about like a New York gangster and all that kind of stuff. The Killers by Ernest Hemingway. The door of Henry's lunchroom opened and two men came in. They sat down at the counter.
What's yours? I don't know. What do you want to eat, Al?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to eat. Outside it was getting dark. From the other end of the counter, Nick Adams watched them. He had been talking to George when they came in.
I'll have a roast pork tenderloin with applesauce and mashed potatoes.
It isn't ready yet.
What the hell you put on the card for?
That's the dinner, George explained. You can get that at 6 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. The clock says 20 minutes past 5. It's 20 minutes past.
Oh, to hell with the clock. What have you got to eat?
I can give you any kind of sandwiches. You can have a ham and eggs, bacon and eggs, liver and bacon, or a steak.
Give me a chicken with green peas, cream sauce, and mashed potatoes.
That's the dinner.
Everything but wants the dinner, eh? That's the way it works.
I can give you ham and eggs, bacon and eggs, liver.
I'll take ham and eggs.
Give me bacon and eggs. Both wore overcoats too tight for them. They sat, leaning forward, their elbows on the counter.
You're a pretty bright boy, aren't you?
Sure.
Well, you're not, is he, Al? He's dumb,
Al said. He turned to Nick.
What's your name?
Adams?
Another bright boy. Ain't he a bright boy, Max? The town's full of bright boys.
George put the two platters, one of ham and eggs, the other of bacon eggs, on the counter. He set down two side dishes of fried potatoes and closed the wicket into the kitchen.
Just a bright boy, Max said to Nick. You go round the other side of the counter with your boyfriend.
What's the idea? Nick asked.
There isn't any idea. You better go around, bright boy,
Al said. Nick went around behind the counter. What's the idea? George asked.
None of your damn business, Al said. Who's out in the kitchen?
The cook.
Tell him to come in.
What are you gonna do to him?
Nothing. Use your head, bright boy. What would we do to a cook?
George opened the slit that opened back into the kitchen.
Sam,
he called.
Come in here a minute.
The door to the kitchen opened and the cook came in. What was it? He asked. The two men at the counter took a look at him.
All right, cook. You stand right there,
Al said. Yes, sir, he said. Al got down from his stool.
I'm going back to the kitchen with the cook and the bright boy, he said. Going back to the kitchen, cook. You go with him, bright boy.
Well, bright boy, Max said to George,
Why don't you say something? What's it all about? Hey, Al, Max called. Bright Boy wants to know what it's all about. I can hear you all right, Al said from the kitchen. Listen, Bright Boy, he said from the kitchen to George. Stand a little further along the bar. You move a little to the left, Max. He was like a photographer arranging for a group photo. I'll tell you, Max said. We're gonna kill a Swede. Do you know a big Swede named Old Anderson? Yes. He comes in here every night, don't he? Sometimes he comes in. He comes here at 6 o'clock, don't he? If he comes. We all know that, Bright Boy. What are you going to kill old Anderson for? What did he ever do to you? We're killing him for a friend. Just a obligation for a friend, Bright Boy. Shut up, said Al from the kitchen. You talk too goddamn much. Well, I gotta keep Bright Boy amused, don't I, Bright Boy? You talk too damn much, Al said. The cook and my Bright Boy are amused by themselves. I got them tied up. At 6:55, George said, he's not coming. Your friend, Old Anderson, isn't gonna come. We'll give him 10 minutes, Max said. Max watched the mirror and the clock. The hand of the clock marked 7 o'clock, and then 5 minutes past 7. Come on, Al, Max said. We better go. He's not coming. What about the 2 Bright Boys and the cook? They're all right. You think so? Sure. We're through with it. Al came out from the kitchen. The cut barrels of a shotgun made a slight bulge under the waist of his too tight-fitting overcoat. He straightened his coat with his gloved hands. So long, Bright Boy, he said to George. You got a lot of luck. The 2 of them went out the door. George watched them through the window. George went back through the swinging doors into the kitchen and untied Nick and the cook. I don't want any more of it, said Sam the cook. I don't want any more of it.